This is Sadie, 8 months old. She's been here since she was 8 weeks. Drove over and picked her up. Didn't know nothing. She trusted people. She hadn't been overindulged. I actually bought her specifically from a place that raised a lot of dogs. Had a decent reputation. Nothing show quality. I didn't care. I wanted a dog far enough that had been raised not to be on a pedestal. The intention of this dog was to be a service dog for a woman who's visually impaired. I could not have a spoiled, rotten little dog that overreacted to stimulation. This dog was raised with a lot of dogs, lots of noise, lots of everything. She never knew what it was like to be on a pedestal. And I wanted that. So, she's been raised from day one. She had a collar and a line dragging. She actually had a little piece of short chain, light chain. Come here, honey. Good girl. She understood what the limits of a lead were. She understood being tied in here from day one. She understood being around other dogs. She was never the top dog. She understood being handled, but she'd never had any training, none. She could be handled on the table. We could cut her toenails and those things. She had done sit down, stand on a table. That's it. I did it as when she was a baby. She's well-adjusted, so I've spent all my time concentrating on a well-adjusted dog that played appropriately with other dogs. She dragged a little heavier chain as she got older. Just sweet as could be. She was around big dogs, small dogs, lots of people. She's happy. She goes up to people, says hi. She's cool. Not one day of working her up close. She was on a long line, so I could say, Sadie, come on. Good girl. She doesn't pull on a lead. Every now and then, come on, Sadie. Hey. The first day she decided not to come when I called her, that was the day we started training. Because I don't start training until there's something to train. Training at the dog is nothing. When you start with a young puppy doing obedience, you end up with a puppy that doesn't look at time with you as fun. They start out not knowing what a lead is, and you're correcting them and bribing them to stay right here. It makes no sense. They need to understand what it is like to follow you, to stick with you. Hey, Sadie. Good girl. I didn't give her a command. I just said her name. Good girl. So, this dog understood all of this. Good girl. Hi, you. Happy, well-adjusted. Come here, honey. Good girl. She'd been introduced to the word with me. Hi, you. Wait. Oh, what a good dog. And that's all she knew until yesterday. Yesterday at 1 o'clock, I brought her down and we trained her. Now that truly is manners and minutes. Here, babe. So this is the third time. I had her in class last night. Hi. Hey, you. Good girl. Hello. I know we're going to play the game again. To her, being with me is a game. That's all it is. It's not, I'm mad at you, so we're going to go out and train now. Training is the highlight of her day. She loved it yesterday. I made Sizzy watch, and Sizzy wanted to work too. That was terrible. Until they... I know. She's been tied a lot too. So, she knew what with me meant as a recall. She'd never had to walk with it. So, she learned it. Hey you, with me. It's a hula hoop distance around my body. Good, with me. Sure she does. She's proud because I've never hollered at her for anything. Good, with me. That's it. Now Wednesday, she's going to go up with me. Wait, good girl. And we're going to ride on the city bus. And she's going to learn to start working as a service dog. Now she's had no wasted education. What she's had is necessary to do her job. She knows the basics. This is the way Manners in Minutes is meant to be used, right like this. It's not a long, lengthy process learning come on, easy way, with me, settle mine. It's the springboard to be able to move on to bigger and better. So if we teach those basic concepts, and I got to get a thicker one, we can then move on to the good stuff. This is the boring stuff. Now the word side is closer. She never heard the word before yesterday. She'll have to get used to a stick. White cane. Sadie side. Good side. Off. Nice. Wait. So when you take shortcuts with the basic stuff, it complicates trying to do anything bigger. When you kind of teach it, when you're reluctant to really go with, it takes a month to set habits. Off. Side. Good. Wait. She shouldn't be jumping on people. She shouldn't be going up and saying hi. She did that when we were walking on the long line. But when I'm walking like this, Janet can't have her doing that. Good. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. And she's better from last night. Yeah. This is the third time. Sadie, side. So my rule is 3 successful repetitions. We've got the dog understanding the word, right? She's learned it in here. Side. So this dog is learning she's got to do these things with other people. Wait. Nice. It's one of those Jack Russells you can't train, you know. This is all of them, if it's done correctly. Off. You have to look at what you want the end result to be. Good side. She's going to have to go into a restaurant. Hey, wait. Thank you. She's going to have to go into a restaurant, into a workplace, and she can't be busy. Side. Subtle. Yeah, I can probably handle it. Hi, you. This is what Manners in Minutes is supposed to be, right here. Now from here, she already knows how to go out and find stuff as a game, not as a skill. She knows how to, well, she doesn't know how to go around. She doesn't know how to do really anything. We played with going to your bed. We haven't got that down yet, but we're working on it. How much more would you need to walk into some place than a dog that acts like this? Now I need to put a placemat down so that when I stop, she's there. So when Janet's working, she doesn't need the cane right now. But it's really a help for Sadie because one day she will. So she's going to learn about stopping at the curbs. She's going to learn about finding the bus stop. She's going to learn about those things. I dropped Janet off one day. We spent some time with Sadie, and she went to walk into an apartment and turned the wrong way. This dog is going to have to make sure that she gets to her apartment.
Now, how would you ever do that?
You do it repetitively.
So that she knows that she's
Yeah.
got to take note.
Yeah. You actually teach her, and then you set her up to make the wrong decision, and then there's a correction. And in that way, hey, you better be easy. You have to stop her at the curb. So the advantage with the cane is that the cane is just here, but if she makes a mistake, it's not beating her, it's just a little bump. And so she can't walk out off a curb without stopping. If there's something in front, now Janet's not a very big person, so she'll be very sensitive to this, but to someone who can't see, think how tempting it would be to be yanking on the lead. Good girl. Your dog is never away from you. I'm kind of liking this. Good settle. Now settle is sit down or stand, we don't care. With me. So the whole thing boils down to we have to care about the result. That's the priority. So if we don't really have a goal for our dog that we prioritize, it's really important. You approach it with a little different thought in mind. And I think humans often get involved for entertainment, not because they need the dog. You think about your own dog compared to you. I want to hire you, Marilyn, but you're just going to be a good companion. I want to watch you play. Okay. What a job description. Yeah. I'm going to hire you, Rose. The only thing I demand is you don't pee on the floor. Okay? It's like, yeah. You can handle that, right? But if you don't have any other expectations, why wouldn't you pee on the floor? You get attention at least. I have 3 dogs. I just want them to play, right? You can't. So the priority is on each of us. I don't care what it is. You've got to find something that your dog does that's a necessity. Sue's got an ATV. Those dogs run along beside. They come when they're called. They leave things alone when she tells them to. She's got a pond out there. Pooh, if they didn't come when they were called, she'd be out there still trying to catch them. They stand at the door. They get their feet wiped. They know what the rules are. You've got expectations for yours. Now, yours aren't hardcore working, but you make them work. Now, they got it made. But it's the job Rose hired them to do. It gives Rose incentive to go out and go for a walk, right? Okay, so what's the priority for that dog?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we trained her for certain.
Good for you. Because if you don't have any low-level expectations, good luck with high level. Because they aren't going to bother. For instance, an employee, we won't mention any names, I'll bet Eric did it. If they didn't have a time thing to punch in, you didn't worry about being right on time. I didn't. If you didn't have to do something, you didn't. You took the easy stuff. You took the stuff that was fun. You took the stuff that was interesting. There were people that liked to do the other stuff. I was always good at delegating. But I did my job. It's just if you don't have somebody in charge identifying what their job is, you make up your own rules. Now, Dale's one of those guys that are self-disciplined. He's a hard boss to work for, isn't he, Dale? Drives you crazy. No, I know that. But you do what you got to do, and you're good at it. And for that, some people can do that, some people can't. Anyway, I really want you to think about prioritizing some of the things you do. So even if retrieving your medication is the only priority you have, which is kind of foolish, because he'll just bring it to you 100 times a day, which isn't good. You have to think of things that even when you're not feeling quite as good as you would like to, the dog does that you need the dog to do. Not just when you're feeling good. Your husband's much like that. When he's feeling good, he loves that dog to be silly. Jump up on him. He didn't want you to fix that. When he's not feeling good, hey, you. When he's not feeling so good, then he complains about it. That's not too nice. So I hope that makes sense to everybody, because it's really important.
When we eat,
Right.
she does not come out of
Correct.
bed until we
Yep.
clean up.
Yep.
Otherwise,
She'd eat everything.
for food,
Yeah.
jumping on him,
Yeah.
ripping it off his legs. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and you know, those things are really important.
He doesn't.
No, no. But a lot of people, well, that's what I got the dog for. And it's really not. And it's really dangerous. And it's really funny until it's not funny.
Well, pretty soon they're grabbing food.
Or they're grabbing the wrong things,
Yeah.
medications and things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just kind of the,
You got, I mean, my situation.
oh, I know.
I don't allow the dogs to be vegan
No, I don't either.
No.
around me when I'm eating. But my husband
Well, Kenny does too.
But then they like
encourages them to come out there and all sit in a half circle and wait for their treat, you know? And it's like, ugh.
Well, the strategy for that, though, is you don't say anything. You just say good and walk away,
Yep.
just like your husband. Teach it for you.
You know, the only time he didn't do that was when
Yep.
Kate was living with us.
Uh-huh.
Because I told him, I said, Kate is a service dog.
So he's afraid of me, huh?
Kate that Pat had,
Yeah.
Australian Shepherd. And I said, so she has to go into restaurants and stuff, and she can't be begging for food. And he never did that with her, but everybody else.
Yep.
is there.
Well, it was really funny because when we took Troubles out that time, Eric was very surprised that Troubles wasn't begging and doing all the things that he'd taught him to do. And we went into that restaurant, and with that vest on, that dog didn't eat anything. Dropped a whole tub of dishes behind him, and he just looked. But with the vest on, it's like you can change what's normal. So normal with the vest and normal without the vest, that's kind of the answer to that stuff. You can get too adamant about the dog never eating anything, and then they don't pick things up, right, Dale? So now we've got Dale's dogs picking food up when it's appropriate, when they're told. That Jammer that I had, I think, oh, you weren't around when I had him. We traveled a lot, so he's sitting in the front seat. I'd hand him stuff. It was no big deal. So if I went in and sat in my rocking chair to eat my lunch, he'd jump up on my lap. And I'd show it to him. I said, this is mine. And he'd turn around on my lap and just sit there. He knew better. If I said mine, he didn't eat it. He didn't take it. Had to have that. Good dog, Sadie. Now, in the with me, she's fine. The hard thing is remembering which word you said. Good. Come on, baby girl, with me. Anyway, I hope that helps.